What is up, guys? The Strong Boys 19 here, and I am very happy to see that my channel is still here on YouTube. I mean, the whole terms and services thing was and still is quite serious for a lot of people, so we'll just have to find out what the state of YouTube is going to be in the new year with these new rules and policies. But we're not going to be talking about that. It is time to go back into the Iron Maiden discography, and this is going to be on the review for Brave New World. Brave New World is the 12th studio album by Iron Maiden, and this album was released in the new decade at the time, the 2000s. This was released as the follow-up to the 1998 predecessor Virtual 11. Now, Brave New World has been a record for many Maiden fans as a comeback album, and I would agree to a certain extent. This marks the return of two members that had come back to the band, Adrian Smith, who had left the band after the era of Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, and Bruce Dickinson after the era of Fear of the Dark. After the release of Virtual 11, after the multiple mixed to negative reviews and reactions, the band with Blaze Bayley went on to promote the album on the Virtual 11 tour, but unfortunately the Virtual 11 tour had to be cancelled because Blaze had been suffering with some vocal problems, well, most notably his allergic reaction to pollen. At some point they had a private meeting and simply said that Blaze had to be let go. So he was fired from the band, and to be honest, I don't think it was really fair that they decided to select songs that is too difficult and too high on Bailey's range. And I think one of the members actually had said that. So I don't blame Blaze one bit, because I still love the X Factor, and I think his voice had been improving on Virtual 11. But in this case and scenario, I think it was a bit of a shame that Maiden had only made a few with Blaze and not just one more album. Steve wanted to continue the band at a very comfortable pace, so they brought in Adrian Smith and Bruce Dickinson again. This is the first time in Maiden's career that the band is now a six-piece, and this album's produced by Kevin Shirley, and of course with Harris being involved in the production values as well. Funnily enough, this album had been in the writing, well, most of the tracks were written during the Virtual 11 period while Blaze was with the band, and he had been involved with the band as a whole, as a six-piece that would remain the same to this very day. Brave New World is a really huge album, and it is definitely always one of my personal favourite Iron Maiden albums. The Wicker Man is an excellent song. It is punchy, the energy of the riffs was perfect, the chorus is anthemic and very memorable, got a powerful amount of guitar solos, the vocals were very good. It is an awesome introduction of a song to this album. Ghost of the Navigator is one of my favourites. The melody has been amazing, and the guitar work is simply great stuff. The instrumentation was deep, and the verses strangely remind me of Seventh Son's single Can I Play With Madness. There's various placements going on, and it was nailed on point. I do love the part of the guitars and the vocals together on the hooks during the song. Brave New World, the title track, begins on a beautiful, quiet introduction on sweet, simple guitar notes and the fat tone of the bass. And the song just grew and builds to a big, progressive, intriguing delivery. It is another standout song. Blood Brothers. This is really like a motivational ballad, and there's a lot of melody to this album, by itself, and there is some of that progressiveness feel to it, but this album is definitely a huge melodic direction that Maiden had done. And Blood Brothers is lyrically written at the time on his father, and this is another high favourite for many of the fans, including myself, and this is just another stellar of a song. The Mercenary, this is my pick for my least favourite. It doesn't feel strong as the other ones that preceded it, and it feels weak. Not that it's a bad song, but not a favourite for me, obviously. Still holds a good place on the album as a whole. Got a great amount of solos that were striking and explosive, and to me it's a song that wasn't really huge and immense for me. Dream of Mirrors, the longest song on the album, to me one of the top greatest Iron Maiden songs of all time, and I absolutely still regard Dream of Mirrors as a masterpiece. I love how it delivers on the proggy feels, on the verses, and it just grows more and more with Bruce's fantastic range of his vocals, and the chorus is just catchy and recognizable. It's always my favorite on the whole album. The Fallen Angel is quite similar to The Mercenary. It feels heavy, but to me this is a better track than that one. The vocal harmonies from Bruce's voice were awesome, and the mood is pretty dark, same with some of the lyricism, and the instrumentation delivers in a very good pace. The sound of the band was tight on this song, again with the stupendous lead guitar work. It is an incredible sound and feel to have separate solos from Dave Murray, Adrian Smith and Yannick Gers, because they all have a unique style, one of the best and highly talented guitarists in metal ever. Nomad has a bit of a darker vibe from the playing on chugging riffs, and I do love the distorted guitar tones. And speaking of the tones on here, the production is definitely one of the best produced, and Kevin's production is stellar, one of the best, fresh and a full sound of a metal album. Nomad is at points heavier and aggressive, and the continued passage of the harmonies and the orchestra is brilliant. There are some orchestra on the other tracks too. The bridge section, the orchestra bit during the quiet spots can go on a little bit repetitive, and I wish that they could have done something more mysterious and something more melodic or harmonic, but that's just the only negative with this song. Out of the Silent Planet, one of the singles like The Wicker Man, it's a very good song and the musicianship still shines through. The chorus was brilliant, again with one of the stronger deliveries. This really just flows in very nicely with the other songs. And the last track, the thin line between love and hate. And there's so much going on to this track that musically it reminds me strangely on a few from the X Factor, like Lord of the Flies and Judgment of Heaven for some weird reasons. But the singing from Bruce is definitely one of his best on this record. The music was amazing by itself. I do think the bridge sections just blends in very, very greatly. I love the beautiful sustain from the lead work on here as well, and this is definitely a huge and brilliant song to finish the album. Brave New World is a really, really strong album, and it's no brainer at all that this would always be hailed as one of Maiden's best. And let me know what you think of Brave New World in the comments below. So, in a nutshell, I am going to give this album a 9 out of 10. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll keep you guys posted for more videos in the near future.